Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to a new video. Today we're going to be predicting the 2021 AFL Finals. We did this last year. It was actually pretty poor. I mean, I did get Port Adelaide and Richmond in the grand final. I did predict Richmond win the flag. They did win the grand final, but I actually had Geelong going out in straight sets, which I did cop a bit of slack for, but we're going to do it again. We're going to do 2021. We're going to see how we go. I want you guys to comment down below who you think will win the grand final and also who wins the Norm Smith. So I know it's a long way away. It's 4 weeks away, but I want your guys' predictions for the grand final winner and the Norm Smith medalist of that grand final. So please let me know in the comment section down below who you guys think will win the AFL Grand Final. I'm going to be doing my prediction today of every single week of the finals. If you're new, hit that like button. We are rising. We are rolling. So let's get straight into it. Week 1 of the AFL Finals kick off on Friday night, and it's the Power and the Cats from Optus, from Adelaide Oval. Now, I do actually predict some of the ovals I'll play at a bit later on in the videos. Now, I do predict Port Adelaide to win this in a really tight one. Now, I'm saying this just on the basis of the Power will have a crowd. They're going to have a lot of support behind them. I'm not too sure how many people will actually be at this game, but I'm predicting Port Adelaide to win. I'd say around, I'm going to say a goal. I'm going to be around 7 points, 5 points, around that little mark. I think Port Adelaide will get the job done. They did defeat Geelong in the first final last year, but they did lose to Geelong earlier on in the year at Adelaide Oval. Now, they actually were missing a few players that night, so I'm tipping Port Adelaide to win. They had that really nice win over the Western Bulldogs, so I think they will do enough, and they'll move on. They'll get the week off, and Geelong will have to back it up and play again. I'm pretty sure Geelong will play the winner out of the Swans and the Giants. So let's move on to the Swans and the Giants game. So this one will be on Saturday in Tasmania. It's actually pretty cool that there's Tasmanian games. I mean, I honestly didn't predict that they would have finals in Tasmania. It's kind of, I mean, is there going to be a Tasmanian team? That's another discussion for another day. But my prediction is Sydney will win this one by around 3 to 4 goals. I think Sydney are in pretty good form at the moment. It's going to be interesting, the battle between Sam Taylor and Lance Franklin, and just how many times Sydney use Lance Franklin. Now, I feel like this will be a close game, but they're in ripper form at the minute, the Swans. I think they're going in winning 3 or 4 games in a row. I think they'll get the job done. Now, they're not going to have Kennedy and Mills, so they're really big outs for the Swans. But I think they will still have enough to get the job done over a young Giants team. It's going to be interesting to see when these teams are announced. But I'm tipping that Sydney will win this one by around 20 points. It'll be a really tight, close game throughout. But the Swans will get the job done. And I've got them winning. Buddy Franklin also very close to the 1,000-goal mark. So it's going to be interesting to see how many finals the Swans can play and see if he can get there this year. Because he will be definitely getting there next year. But like I said, we have the Swans winning this one and moving on. We move on to the next game. Now, I feel like this is the game of the round, game of the final so far. The Lions and the Melbourne Football Club. Melbourne coming off that crazy win over Geelong last week. Max going after the siren. Now, I've got Melbourne winning this one. I feel like this is going to be a really good game as well, but I feel like Melbourne will get the job done. I feel like this is going to be around a 10-point win for the D's. They're in some ripper form at the moment. No Eric Hipwood for the Lions is going to hurt. Just with Jake Lever and Stephen May in that back line. So I've got the Melbourne Football Club winning. They're moving on. So Port Adelaide and Melbourne both getting the week off and moving straight to a prelim final. So I've got them going through. This is going to be a ripper game. I mean, I can't wait for that. And we move on to the final game of the round, the elimination final between the Bombers and the Dogs. My team, the Bombers. Who would have thought they'd be playing finals football after all these players left in the off-season? Unfortunately, though, the Bombers are playing some really good footy at the moment, and Bulldogs I mean, they've struggled the last few weeks. I've still got the Bulldogs winning this by around 28 points. I think the Bulldogs they're a top 4 team. I mean, there's no lie about that. They've been in the top 4 basically the whole season. So I've got the Western Bulldogs getting the job done. I feel like this will be a pretty electric and fast game, considering it just depends on the weather. And the Bombers have a lot of players playing their first ever final. So it's going to be a good learning experience for the Dons. But I feel like the Western Bulldogs are just going to have enough. Their midfield will get on top. And I've got the Dogs winning by around 28 points. But man, if Essendon can break that streak of what is it, 6,000 days of not winning a final, man, I will be impressed. But Bulldogs winning this one, which sets up the second week of the AFL finals. So the second week games will be the Bulldogs taking on the Brisbane Lions. Now, I feel like that game will be at the Gabba, and the Swans taking on the Cats. Now, I'm pretty sure the AFL have said they will be moving to Perth to play those games, and the Brisbane Bulldogs game will actually be at the Gabba. So this is the first final we've got, and we have got the Brisbane Lions coming out on top. I feel like Brisbane will bounce back after that close loss to the D's, and they'll go through to the prelim to take on the Power. The Bulldogs, this game could go either way. I'm not ruling the Western Bulldogs out of winning this game. I mean, like I said, they're basically a top 4 team. They fell out of the top 4 in the last week of the AFL regular season. So comment down below who you guys think. If you guys think these predictions are semi-okay, you think they're semi-alright, but I've got the Lions winning this one by around 15 points. I feel like they will bounce back and they will book themselves a spot to play the Power in Adelaide for a chance to play in the 2021 AFL Grand Final. Now, the AFL Grand Final has not been announced. We don't know where that's going to be played yet as we move on to Geelong and Sydney. But I have heard, and I mean, I feel like everyone's heard, there's a massive chance it could be played at Optus Stadium. And I hope it is played at Optus Stadium, just everything that's going on in Victoria. Now, I've got Geelong winning this. Geelong I feel like they'll bounce back after their loss to the Power, and they'll get the job done. It's going to be interesting to see if they get some of their key players back, like Mitch Duncan, Zach Tui. I mean, could Stewart play if they potentially get to a grand final? But Sydney will definitely take it up to Geelong, but I feel like Geelong will just be too good, a class above. Jeremy Cameron, Tom Hawkins will be too much for a young Sydney backline, and Geelong will go on to play Melbourne in the prelim, which will set up a massive week of prelim games. They will be huge. Like I said, totally guessing where these games are going to be played at. We're not too sure where these games are going to be played at, but this will set up the preliminary finals. So, Melbourne will take on the Cats, and the Power will take on the Lions. Now, if everything stays okay with Adelaide and COVID, they should get 2 home finals if they can beat Geelong and then move on to play the Lions. So, first game is Melbourne and the Cats. They had that crazy game in Geelong with Max Gawn kicking the game winner. I've got Melbourne win this game. What I seen that last quarter, what I seen that second half, I feel like Melbourne are just a fast team. Some of Geelong's injuries are going to hinder them. I mean, Tom Stewart is a massive out. He's an Australian backman. He is elite. I really rate Tom Stewart. But if they can get some players back, this game's 50-50 as well. I mean, it's a tough game to really gauge. Paddy Dangerfield, Joel Selwood, I mean, they're missing Stewart, but they still have a lot of stars. But like I said, it's going to depend on some of their players they get back. But if their players are not healthy, I've got Melbourne winning this in a very tight one. I feel like this will go right down to the wire. But Melbourne will win, and Melbourne will advance to the 2021 AFL Grand Final. And now we go on to the second prelim final, and that is the Lions and the Power from Adelaide Oval. Man, if they're lucky enough to get 2 home finals, I think that's going to be enough for the Power to get the job done and get into the grand final. Now, I feel like they're going to do this because last year what happened with the Tigers, they let a big opportunity slip because, I mean, that would have been huge for them. They lost, they were a kick away from going through to the grand final where Richmond just went on and won the granny. So, I feel like Port Adelaide have learnt. They're going to get healthier. I mean, Orazio Fantasia comes back into the team. They should have some of their stars coming back as well. So, I mean, Sao and Pepper, maybe he plays. Hamish Hartlett. So, I've got Brisbane. This will be a close game as well. I mean, I don't expect any of these finals to be blowouts. But Port Adelaide get the job done, and it sets up the 2021 AFL Grand Final, and that is between Melbourne and the Power. Like I said, have a feeling this could be at Optus Stadium. I'm not too sure if this will be played at Optus Stadium, but if it is, man, it will be nice. I actually hope they do like a twilight start, so maybe they start the grand final, let's say like 2:30. At 3:30, 4 o'clock. So when you play the afternoon, you get that afternoon feel of a grand final, but then you get the afternoon feel of the granny as well. So I've got this game being tightly contested. This is the grand final I probably think will happen. I mean, I honestly think Geelong could be there. Brisbane could be there, and also the Western Bulldogs could be there as well. I mean, there is no, there's basically no top 5 team who you can really rule out. I mean, can you rule anyone out at the moment? I don't think you can. So this is my prediction. I've got Melbourne and the Power meeting in the grand final. You know what? Instead of the Norm Smith, let me know the Norm Smith. Who do you guys think will play in the grand final? Have you got Melbourne, Port Adelaide, Brisbane Bulldogs? At the moment, I've got Melbourne, Port Adelaide playing in the 2021 AFL Grand Final. Last year, we got it wrong with one team. We had Port Adelaide and Richmond playing in the Grand Final last season. I did predict Richmond in the Grand Final. So let's see if I can predict it again. Let's see if I can get this one right this time. I think this Grand Final will be very, very tight if these two teams meet. You're going to get Robbie Gray, Ollie Wines, Petrarca, Clayton Oliver going head-to-head. Oh, my word. That would just be a crazy Grand Final to see. And I want to see this at Optus Stadium. Either Adelaide Oval or Optus. I do want to see a Twilight Grand Final. I don't want to see a Night Grand Final again. I feel like Twilight is a lot better. I feel like a Grand Final during the day. And my prediction is Melbourne are winning the Grand Final. I feel like Melbourne's just had that complete season. They finished on top of the ladder. They had a couple of weeks where they did play some down football. They lost to Adelaide. Adelaide in Adelaide. But other than that, I feel like Melbourne have enough to get the job done. And they will have enough to get the job done. This will be a tight grand final. Melbourne, let's say 11 points. My Norm Smith medalist for this grand final, I'm going to say it's either going to be Christian Petrarca, Max Gawn, or Clayton Oliver. Now, I can't give 3, so I'm going to say Clayton Oliver. Norm Smith medals are normally players other than Dusty who you don't really see coming. Players who can bob up and kick you 3 or 4 goals. But this is my prediction. Melbourne to win the 2021 AFL Grand Final. Clayton Oliver to win the Norm Smith medal. He's a massive chance to win the Brownlow medal as well. So that's my prediction. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys are excited for the finals. We're ready to roll. I've done this last year. I loved all your comments. Please comment down below who you think will win the grand final and also who you think will win the Norm Smith medal. It's just a little bit of a 4-week prediction, so we can come back and we can review it at the end of the year and just see how we went. It's a lot of fun. A lot of fun to do, and it's quite enjoyable. So if you guys want to see more videos like this, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, get on board. We are rising. We're closing in. We're pushing for 20,000 subscribers by Christmas. Hopefully we can get there. And yeah, comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video on the channel. Go Bombers!